So I do have an online course out right now. I have been free from porn for a long while, but is that the full truth? Have I honestly given up porn? And I think the answer is no, because I think I lied to myself. Technically, I've not looked at what's considered porn by maybe most people, which is like people actually having sex and sexual contact. I've not looked at any of that stuff for just nearly a year now. February last year it was, but I have looked at sexual content, and to be honest, I just need to accept that that is porn. Like, girls on like Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all of that stuff is really just pornography. So I need to be more honest with myself going forward. I want to be more honest with you as well. So yeah, I do have a course on how to quit porn, but I can't say I'm an expert on this. I can't say I'm like completely pure and clean, but my mindset overall is quite healthy and good. So I hope that course can help you. The link is in the description now. It's quite cheap. It's on Udemy. But anyway, what I want to talk about in today's video is this story of Ian, and I'll tie it back to porn in a little while. But Ian is just an ordinary guy in his 20s, and he goes to sleep in his two-bed detached house. And when he wakes up, he's in handcuffs. They're really tight, and he's trying to escape because he's also in this prison cell. So he's looking around himself, he's in these handcuffs, and he wants to escape as much as he can. So he's fighting and resisting and shouting and screaming, and nothing really works. He's still stuck there. And then he wakes up, because actually it was just a nightmare, so major plot twist there. But yeah, he wakes up and he takes a few deep breaths and he's okay again. But then that night he has the same nightmare, and it happens again and again and again, and it actually really negatively impacts his life, until one night a few months later, when in this dream he's just done kicking and shouting and screaming, and he gives up and he puts his arms to his side, and what happens, almost like by magic, these handcuffs actually fall loose, and he puts his hand into his pocket and realizes there's a key there, and then he uses that key to open his prison cell, and he sets out on a path of freedom. He gets his life back. In this video, I'm going to be giving you the key to get out of this prison of our own mind, of thinking about pornography and going back to it. And really the solution is to let go and stop fighting, stop resisting porn, and stop resisting our urges. So a few days ago, I did have this setback, and it's because I didn't deal with my urges in an appropriate way. So this is exactly how you want to deal with your urges. What you want to do is use the acronym STAND. I made this up only earlier today, if I'm honest, but I honestly am so excited and confident about this working for you. So STAND stands for S is sensation. First of all, when you're having that urge or you get triggered by something, you want to actually think about the sensation. What's going on in your mind? What's going on in your body? What can you really feel? What sensations are going on? Because all urges are sensations. That is the truth, and they are always temporary. T stands for thoughts. So what thoughts are you having? What are you thinking about when you've got that urge? Is it like the sexual content that you want to look at? Is it the sort of feeling of release that you want? Is that what you're thinking about? What is it that you're thinking about? Next, A. A stands for accept. You need to accept these sensations and these thoughts into your life. If you don't accept the sensation and the thought together, then you're not going to be able to actually deal with it in a healthy, responsible way. And instead, you're most likely to go and look at porn. You don't want to be fighting it. You don't want to be resisting it. It does not work. I guarantee it does not work. I tried it a few days ago, did not work, and I had a setback. So you really want to accept it and just let it be in your body. Let the thoughts come and go, and then eventually they will go. Next, we have N, and N stands for now. So what are you going to do now? You've got these sensations, you've got these thoughts, you've accepted them. What are you actually going to do now? Like, is it that you need to have a glass of water? Is it that you need to go for a walk? Is it that you actually need to go to the gym? Or is it that you just need to carry on with your work and engage in that once again? And then D is discipline. So have the discipline to do what you said you were going to do in the now section. and not be carried away by these sensations and the thoughts that are going to go. So remember, stand, if it helps, actually stand up when you go through the list, because sometimes our posture can massively impact us when we have these urges and triggers. So going back to Ian now, the reason he had this recurring nightmare is because he actually had been in prison for a crime that he did not commit. Innocent Ian was in fact innocent, but because he'd been in this prison cell before, his mind kept on going back to it, and he hadn't accepted truly that he had once been in that prison. A bit like me recently, I hadn't really accepted that, yeah, at one point in my life I did struggle with porn, and certain behaviours are not going to be healthy for me, and so I need to find a new approach to sort of using technology and not necessarily going on sites like Twitter and Instagram, where I know that the neural pathways in my brain get me like really excited and the dopamine starts being released because I have this anticipation that I'm going to get an orgasm, because the sort of connections in my brain just lead to that sometimes. So being really, really honest and accepting who you actually are and what you've done in the past, but then actually realising, well, that's not who I am anymore. Ian's no longer in prison, he's actually free. So he needs to accept that in the past, yeah, he was in prison, but now he's not. And when he lets go of the sort of feelings that he's in prison and he brings his attention back to the present and he's aware of what he's actually doing in that moment, then he's free to crack on and live a life of freedom. I hope this video makes sense. It's something I've been thinking about a lot today. Really excited for you to use Stand. I hope it does work for you, and I will see you in the next video.